Okay. So on the right side, you see a big ocean. It's not the Pacific, but it's a metaphorical ocean. And the title of my talk is From the Blue Book, that you all know. It's on the left, the basic text. It stands for the paradigm of intangible heritage. And on the right, you see that blue ocean that refers to the blue ocean strategy in higher education. And it's a title I partly borrowed from a book in management, Blue Ocean Strategy by Chan Kim and René Mauborgne, where they describe a way of approaching different markets and different things you can do. Perhaps some people know me from my previous life. My previous life ended in September last year. I was working in an NGO called FARO, the Flemish Interface for Cultural Heritage, working in Belgium for the field of museums, archives, libraries, and intangible cultural heritage. And FARO is an accredited NGO under the 2003 UNESCO Convention, and my job then was to also implement that convention in the heritage field. I was working part-time at the Free University in Brussels, where I coordinate UNESCO Chair on Intangible Heritage. And since September, I have the chance to work at the University of Antwerp, where I have this kind of dream job they offered me. There used to be a master, and there still is a master, focusing on monuments and landscapes. And the invitation was to open this up to a heritage studies program for 2 years. And they asked me to do that. And it's in full progress at the moment. And I hope to benefit also from the shared wisdom of you all to also advise me on how to develop it. The metaphor of the blue ocean is contrasted with the metaphor of the red ocean, where there's a lot of competition. Think about sharks swimming and eating each other with a lot of blood, hard competition, shrinking way. That's not the way to position a curriculum on heritage studies. I like this blue ocean metaphor of creating new opportunities, and that's what I try to do. So, and I will start with not only an advertisement, but to make it very concrete. At the moment at the University of Antwerp, there's a series of retirements, and we are recruiting 5 new professors. And 2 of those vacancies are advertised right now. The deadline is very soon, 16th of August, if you want to apply. One is on tenure staff on digital heritage, and the other one on participatory methods of heritage management and heritage education. And I give this example to show you, because we had to make a decision already to recruit persons while still developing the curriculum. And I could have chosen here to recruit someone in safeguarding intangible cultural heritage and the 2003 convention, but actually we opened up it broader, and it tells a broader story on how to deal with the blue book, and what the 2003 convention has to offer. Is that mainly on intangible heritage, or is there a bigger lesson for the heritage field related to participation? And you see a number of the courses that are described here in red. They're all courses that still have to be developed. And you can, if you apply, you can still change the titles, but it says in which direction we are moving. So there could be a course on intangible heritage and participatory methods, on innovative policy and management techniques, safeguarding repertoires, and other elements. So I will come back to this item, but I want to make it very concrete. This is really happening. So you still have a few days to apply, and then we will have to decide who to recruit. And it's part of a bigger slide. This is a slide I often show to my students. For me, something serious happened in the 21st century. There's the breakthrough of that concept of very broad cultural heritage, no longer just monuments and landscapes and the World Heritage Convention, but also movable heritage, digital heritage, and intangible heritage, the 2003 convention. this expansion of the semantic field of heritage, it has been translated in a number of texts like the UNESCO conventions. There's a whole network that has emerged. People have appropriated the concepts, and there's a lot of things happening. And the question I ask is, how is the academic world dealing with this? Slowly, I think. And one of the ways to react is by introducing that notion of critical heritage studies. And so it's still a moving evolution, and how to deal with this. The convention text, and people who know me and who have ever attended the class with me, I use this basic text, sometimes called the Blue Bible, a lot to frame a lot of the discussions. And you can deal with that basic text in identifying the safeguarding intangible cultural heritage paradigm as an obligatory passage point, something you have to go through, and then you enter a new world with own definitions, actors that are being mobilized, and you can organize reality according to that. You can use this basic text as a boundary object, something in a more loose way with a lot of ideas, or as an arsenal of interesting ideas and principles. And I would just mention Article 15 of the convention, the involvement of communities, groups, and individuals in whatever you do, as an idea to take home from the basic text, without necessarily only dealing with safeguarding intangible cultural heritage. Okay. In my previous life, I used to work in Faro, and what you see here is the structure to organize the courses that are being given there. Faro, they saw that there was a disconnect between what is offered in the academic world and what is needed in the heritage field. And that's why this is an NGO that tries to make that bridge by introducing courses on different levels and different ways of experiencing. So we try to fill in the needs and listen to the kind of needs that groups of people need. But it's also a way of transforming the heritage field. So we're not just examining the needs, but we are also creating needs and new demands in the field. So that innovative thing is something I took away from the experience, my previous experience. Okay, I will now give two examples. One of them is one course I teach at the Free University Brussels in the third bachelor level. And I give this course together with a colleague, Peter Martens, who is specialized in monuments and landscapes. And what we are doing, Peter is teaching monuments and landscapes dating from the Roman Empire over the Renaissance, 19th, 20th century, the World Heritage Convention, etc. A very classic overview over time of what monuments and landscapes approaches do. What I do the 21st century new ideas, mainly focusing on the 2003 convention, how you saw the scheme, museums and archives and libraries have been affected, the Faro Convention, European Convention, where different fields of heritage are connected, and I try to introduce some notions of critical heritage studies. For students, we've done that since last year. So we alternate. 1 week, Peter gives his classic overview of approaching heritage. And then I come in with trying to convince them how the 2003 conventions work. And for them, it's rather confusing because I contradict a lot what my colleague is saying. And in the end of the course, we give a lesson together where we try to evaluate what are the strong points and the weak points of these different and how you can connect. And we could have chosen to go immediately for a holistic story, but that would not be telling how reality in the heritage field is working. And in the end, they have a whole toolkit of different ways of dealing with heritage. So that's the third bachelor course, 48 contact hours where they have these two different approaches and they make a synthesis. So now University of Antwerp, that's a different story. So what I'm doing there is to organize the 2-year Master Heritage Studies program. And we are trying to design this using learning outcomes curriculum design, seeing what is needed in the work field. But that's how you should design curricula. But according to me and to my colleagues, the needs that are in the field, they could be bigger and more ambitious and alternative. So that's why I refer to the blue ocean strategy. We can open this up. What we are doing at the moment is to create a master program. It's open for anyone with a bachelor degree. And in the first year, we give a general introduction where we give several ways of approaching heritage. And in the second year, we are considering, and we have to make that decision fast because the program has to start running in 2021 in September. So we have to decide how we shall do it, but we haven't concluded this yet. So there's a demand, for instance, to work on monuments and landscapes, on museums and museology, on archives, on digital heritage, and then on a program on intangible cultural heritage or participatory methods in heritage. And I still haven't decided, together with my colleagues, what we will do, because you can see, and that's how you relate to that blue book and to the paradigm of intangible cultural heritage. Do we want to make specialists in safeguarding intangible cultural heritage, the repertoire of customs, etc.? Is that what we want to give a training for? Or do we want to have that idea of Article 15 working in the other modules? So the modules, they will, people who study monuments and landscapes, they should also take courses in that module of intangible cultural heritage / participatory heritage. So at the moment, we are struggling with this idea. How should we organize this? What could be interesting for students? We are also working on a PhD network program. So we will launch a PhD in heritage studies. And there we want to connect with other universities. And I could use the last slide shown by Emily DRANI to explain what we think about it. She offered a lot of possibilities, peer review, curricula among universities, pooling resources, organizing symposia. That's something we definitely want to do on that PhD level network. So this is my last slide. So you understand my problem. I have to design this 2-year master very fast in the next weeks and months. We are already recruiting a number of people. So we are recruiting someone on digital heritage and participatory methods / intangible heritage. We still have 3 vacancies open that we can declare open. And we are now looking for how will we deal with that. And I think it's a more general problem. How will we fit in the paradigm of safeguarding intangible cultural heritage, the blue book? Is it the intention to really create a special program on safeguarding of intangible heritage? Or do we want to go for a more hybrid approach where skills that people can learn from the work we are all doing around the intangible heritage also in their other fields? So now you understand my problem, and I'm very interested to hear your input. What should we do? We have a chance to take a number of decisions, and now we have to decide. And we're still open for suggestions and remarks to jointly arrive at an interesting position for the students, but also for the heritage field, both in Belgium and internationally, because that's the final remark. We want to train people, but we also want to change the heritage field, and hopefully the heritage field can then change our program again. So this interaction is quite important for us. Okay, thank you very much for listening to me.